Hey folks, today we are going to make an easy baked ziti. This is another one of those easy midweek hearty family meals to prepare. We made a couple of substitutions while cooking this dish. We made this video while Tampa was evacuating or getting ready to evacuate before Hurricane Ian. So thankfully it did not hit us, but the city was in panic for a few days, and our heart goes out to all of our Floridians down south of us. So here's a shot of all the ingredients that we used. One of the biggest substitution we used is just sausage and peppers. We wanted Italian sausage for this, but our grocery store didn't have it. They didn't have anything in the ground section, so we just bought some links that were already made up. Cut it open, scrape the insides out. This is not the way to do it, folks. This is seriously not the way to do it. Now here's the right way to do it. Cut the tip off of the casing and just squish it out. See, that works a whole lot better. You get all the meat out a whole lot faster. Now that we've got all our sausage out, go ahead and turn your eye on medium heat so we can get that cooking. We want to cook it until there's no pink left. While that's simmering, let's go ahead and dice this up an onion. This is not the chefy way to dice an onion, but it works for me. Get the hull off, the peel off, whatever you call it. Cut it in half, and then start slicing down the middle, kind of like a julienne. Not as thin as a julienne, maybe a 1/4 inch wide, if that wide. Turn it around and then just start slicing like this. It makes nice little dices, and it works for me. The spoon is not magically moving on its own. It's my 2-year-old on a step stool wanting help by stirring. See that little hand pop up? I think we can put him to work. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get our pasta going. Bring a pot of water to boil and add a little bit of olive oil, cooking oil. Any type of oil will break the surface tension and prevent your pasta from boiling over. A big pinch of kosher salt just to season it. In the meantime, go ahead and give your sausage and onions a good stir. Now go ahead and add your pasta. Boil for about 8 or 9 minutes. Stirring occasionally. Pasta likes to stick together. And back over to your sausage and onions. We want to add our garlic. I like to use a garlic press as opposed to just chopping it up very finely. It adds, well, the oils ooze out of the garlic, and that adds an extra layer of flavor. Plus, it's a lot finer than I could ever chop it by hand. I wish y'all could smell this right now. It's incredible. Now we get to mix everything up. I know somebody out there is going to think I'm crazy for cracking an egg directly into a baking pan. Most people would tell you, most recipes would tell you to crack open your egg, put it into a mixing bowl, then add your ingredients, etc., etc. I'm just going to dump it back into this baking pan anyway, so I don't like doing dishes, so why dirty up another dish if you don't have to? It's all going to get mixed together here in a second. If you don't have a silicone spatula to scrape everything out, get one. Very useful. Now we're going to add our Parmesan cheese. Anything with Parmesan can't be bad, can it? Always a little fresh cracked pepper never hurts. I like to use the type that you grind directly from the can. It releases the oils immediately as opposed to the dried up stuff that's already pre-ground. Of course, we add our kosher salt, then a heavy pinch of oregano. We need to mix this first, so put the sausage down. Give your filling a good mix. This doesn't have to be a perfect mixture. You can have little pockets of cheese in there. That's perfectly fine. Now we add our sausage and onion mixture. If this is a bit oily, be sure to drain your sausage, but this was just fine. And stir that in lightly. We don't want to aggressively stir this, so just keep folding it back and forth very gently. In the meantime, if you haven't already, go ahead and drain your noodles, or your ziti in this case, which is a type of noodle, type of pasta. Pour it in, and then, of course, just lightly stir that in. Some fell out of the pan. I don't claim to be a professional here. When nobody's looking, I'm going to throw them back in anyway. Of course, add your pasta sauce directly on top, and then we're going to stir that in as well. Now, another stir. Just keep mixing this in. The pan's pretty full here, so do it gently so you don't make a huge mess. This is a recipe that you can make in advance, so after you get everything stirred up, you could just cover it in plastic or foil, put it in the refrigerator, and bake the day of, night of that you need it. Now we're going to go ahead and add a coat of Parmesan cheese. Anything coated in Parmesan cheese just makes it better. Fresh would be better than pre-grated, but this is what I have. And go ahead and set it in your oven. Doesn't that look good? All the cheese is melted, all the flavors are blending together. And now we get to take it out of the oven and plate it.